What is up, people, and welcome back to my Rags to Riches F1 2010 to 2014 career mode. Now, this is the career mode where we go from one of the worst teams in F1 2010, work our way up through the ranks and through the teams, and try and get a drive for one of the best teams in F1 2014. We're currently in the F1 2014 season at the Hungarian Grand Prix, so if you have missed any of the previous episodes, go catch up with the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screens. You will find the previous episode at the German Grand Prix, which was an absolutely phenomenal race. If you missed that episode, go check it out right now, because that was absolutely incredible. An absolutely incredible race. I cannot stress enough how good that German Grand Prix was. And of course, if you have missed any of the other episodes in the series, they will be up there in a playlist as well. But having a look at the driver standings coming into today's race, we're currently in P3, 154 points on board, and that puts us 29 points, I believe, behind both Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. As you can see, they're on the exactly the same amount of points for the season so far, which is really interesting to see. Not only which one of those two drivers will come out on top, but whether I can catch up to both of them as well. Coming into today's race, we also had a contract offer from Red Bull to join them for the rest of the season. Now, most of the seasons in this Rags to Riches, I have gone ahead. I put a poll over on Twitter, and I've gone with that one. I did exactly the same thing. I put a poll on Twitter, and I let you guys decide, but it went to Red Bull. And for me, I just don't want to join Red Bull for the rest of the season. Not because I don't like Red Bull or anything like that. It is mainly because two drivers for Red Bull are currently close to me in the standings. I mean, you know, I could easily drop down behind these two. They can easily overtake me. But at the same time, it would just make it easier. And we're already doing a fantastic job of closing up to the two Mercedes drivers. I think we will be within the title hunt by the end of the season. But joining a Red Bull will just make it a whole lot easier. And will probably make us just sort of, you know, win races every single time. So we're going to stay at Ferrari for the rest of the season. I'm happy with the team I'm in. I'm comfortable with it. I don't have to learn a new car, and that is how the rest of the season will go. Right, emails for today's race then. Information for the Hungarian Grand Prix is going to be nice and dry across the whole weekend, so we're very happy about that. Teammate data currently beating Fernando Alonso 7-3 on the out-qualified. And with race results data from the German Grand Prix, that's pretty good there. If you want to check it out, look at that. And our fourth race win of the season. We are on absolute fire at the moment in this 2014 season. But without any further ado, let's head over to the race weekend for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Here we go. One shot qualifying time for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We need to hook up a lap here at this Hungary ring. This is a circuit which we do not tend to do well at over the years. So hopefully we can sort of put that to bed and actually get a decent result in this qualifying session. We are going to be under pressure, setting our lap right at the death and straight away running wide in turn one. It's not too bad though. We still got a good exit using the DRS, and hopefully we can still get a good result out of this qualifying session. Oh, running it very wide there in towards that right hand. I think I've completely bottled this qualifying session. 1.4 seconds down now on Nico Rosberg's time, currently in pole position. I think that will, however, still put us into the top 10. We'll just have to wait and see as we go through the final couple of corners now. Whereabouts is this lap going to put us in the qualifying session? Into the final corner. It's not been the cleanest of laps so far. Through the final corner, using DRS, down towards line. What's the time going to be good enough for? It's not good enough. 14th place, returning to our old usual spot after giving up that Red Bull seat. Maybe, just maybe, that was a bad idea. We will have to wait and see. But at the Hungarian Grand Prix, this is not a circuit which I do well at. This is one of my worst. Well, I think actually this is my worst circuit on the F1 calendar. So not too disappointed at the end of the day. We will have some fun working our way back through the field. Hopefully we can do that in today's race. We just have to wait and see. But Nico Rosberg gets pole position ahead of his Mercedes teammates. There is little to separate those two drivers. Just like championship points and now qualifying as well. 0.04 of a second between both of those. Alonso's in third, 3 tenths off, with Ricciardo in fourth, Vettel in fifth, Hülkenberg 6th, Massa 7th, Button in 8th, Valtteri Bottas 9th, and Kevin Magnussen rounding out the top 10, with Sergio Perez and Danny Kvyat and John Verne just ahead of myself. But what can we do from 14th on the grid? Let's find out. It's race day for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We start way down the field in 14th position. Not one of my best qualifying sessions, returning back to my usual spot. But what can we do from 14th on the grid in today's Hungarian Grand Prix? We're just going to have to wait and see. We're starting on the option tyres, pitting for the primes on lap 8 of this 18-lap race. Teammate challenge once again, losing out to Fernando Alonso in the qualifying sessions. It's 8-3 between the two of us. There is still a chance for us to catch up and beat him on the out-qualified, but we're going to have to out-qualify him at every single race going until the end of the season. I think we have enough to give up one more race. If we can lose out in qualifying one more time, but that's it. We have to beat him another 10 times in this. No, another 10 times? Another 9 or 7? Oh, wait. Around that. We just have to keep beating him. Simple as that. 0% chance of rain, though, in today's race. So let's head down to the track and get the race underway. There is Nico Rosberg lining up in pole position. I'm pretty sure that is his first pole position of the season. Usually they go to Lewis Hamilton. So for the first time this season, I think Nico Rosberg has managed to out-qualify his teammate. I've got Fernando Alonso in third place. And there I am, way down the field in 14th. As the lights are coming on now, we go to 5 red lights. It is lights out. And away we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix. A good start compared to the Toro Rosso of Danny Kvyat. Oh, we've gone into the back of him. That's not a very good start today in the race as we've gone into the back, and that slowed us down. But down towards turn 1, braking in towards turn 1. Just going to take it nice and easy, keep it simple. Trying to get the inside line on the Toro Rosso there. Trying to get a good exit, squeezing out the McLaren of Jenson Button there on the left-hand side. Fernando Alonso, what a terrible start. My teammate, as hard as I've gone straight into the back of him. Not a good maneuver there on my teammate. Go, Alonso. Get out of my way. I'm not going to go into the back of you anymore. So it looks like I've got 2 drivers going side by side. Looks like Kevin Magnussen's missed out. I'm going to pin Fernando Alonso and try and get the job done on both of these side by side in towards the left-hander. You do not go side by side through there. And Kevin Magnussen, rightfully so, puts on the brakes, bottles it, has no balls, and goes down into, I think that was like 10th place, out of the top 10 probably. But Alonso follows me through. We're up into 7th and 8th and now hunting down Felipe Massa. Starting lap 2 here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Following in the slipstream at the moment of Felipe Massa. 5/10 of a second separate us two. Will I be close enough to go for the overtake? Not just yet. But I'm just, biding my time. Keeping close to the Williams driver. Losing the back end slightly as we went through turn 1 there. But can we close up down in towards turn 2? Slamming on the brakes in towards turn 2. We've got the Force India ahead of us as well. So it'd be nice to see whether we can get past him too. Here we are following in the slipstream of Felipe Massa. Can we do a similar move like we did on Kevin Magnussen? No, we can't. Massa so much quicker than us in a straight line, and we're just going to have to settle for P6 for the time being. We've done a pretty good job so far on this lap of keeping on the back of Felipe Massa. We just need to make sure we stay there through this final corner. If we can do that, we're going to have some great tow, great slipstream down in towards turn 1, and hopefully get the opportunity to go for the overtake in towards that corner as well. Here we go, on the back of Felipe Massa. He's got some good tow, though, and some good straight line speed on Sergio Perez or Nico Hülkenberg. Not too sure which one it is. And just that straight line speed of the Williams is just too good for us to even think about going for an overtake just yet, as I cut across turn 1 a little bit there. So I can brake a little bit later down towards turn 1. But Felipe Massa, at the moment, just too quick in a straight line for us. I need to get past Felipe Massa real soon, because not only am I losing engine power and temperatures and stuff like that being caught in this train, but I'm also losing the will to live. I'm just stuck behind Felipe Massa right now, and it's so frustrating because I can't do anything down the straights in this guy. He's too quick, and my only opportunity is within the corner, so I need to do something smart. I need to do something clever to get round him and maybe through sector 2 somewhere. Oh, here we go on Felipe Massa then. There, look at that. Just completely bottles it through turn 2 there. We got right up on his gearbox, and that was enough for Felipe Massa to back out of that maneuver. He's given me that position, gifted it to me pretty much there. Now I'm up into P6. Was not expecting that here on lap 5, but I said I had to do something clever. I got close to him in towards turn 2, and that was enough to put Massa off and move me up into P6. And now I'm right behind the Force India driver of Nico Hülkenberg, which should be easier to get past because I will get DRS on this guy. As long as I can keep it close down towards the start-finish straight, then I should have him. Here we go then, in towards the penultimate corner. Still very much on the tail of Nico Hülkenberg. What is my exit going to be like through the final corner? It's good. It is good enough to get the slipstream and the tow using DRS. It should be a fairly simple move on Nico Hülkenberg. Moving over to the right-hand side. And there we go. Job done on Hülkenberg. Up into P5 for this Hungarian Grand Prix. Getting the car slightly on the grass there. That was not good. But Nevertheless, we've got the job done. We're up into P5, and now we're going to see whether we can catch up to Nico Rosberg and the other 3 leaders. Okay, then it's time to pit in today's Hungarian Grand Prix, putting it down into lead mix as we get ready to come into the pit lane. We've got a couple of drivers as well coming into pits with us. It's going to be Lewis Hamilton most likely and Sebastian Vettel. I believe it's the 2 Red Bulls and the 2 Mercedes guys ahead of us. But into the pits we go, and hopefully it is going to be a nice clean pit stop from the Ferrari boys. Hopefully as well we don't get held up by the Force India and the other driver coming in behind us. Come on, good pit stop here, boys. Good pit stop. Let me go now. 3.7 seconds stop, sorry. And there we go. Once again underway. Getting out ahead of the Force India and the Williams behind us. And once again, getting on with our race. And hopefully now we can go on to catch up with the likes of Nico Rosberg, Sebastian Vettel, Daniel Ricciardo, and Lewis Hamilton. Of course, Rosberg and Ricciardo will be staying out for one more lap. So this is our opportunity on fresher set of tyres to catch up to both of those guys. Okay, other drivers into the pits at the moment. So whereabouts is this going to put us? I think it's going to be back where we were before we came into the pits. And yes, it is 5th place at the moment. But are we any closer to Nico Rosberg, Ricciardo, Vettel and Hamilton? Vettel currently in that 4th position spot. Those guys batting away. It looks like on the minimap we are close at this stage of the race. We'll just have to wait and see though for confirmation on that. Situation report then with 3 laps left to go in this race. We're currently still in P5, closing down on Sebastian Vettel, but not really by enough at the moment. We are closing in, but it's only really every time that he makes a mistake. So I do not feel like we are going to catch up to this group by the end of the race. We'll wait and see though. Maybe something might happen. They may sort of have it coming together and lose quite a lot of time, and that could put me right on their tail. But at the moment, we're just lapping 2 similar times. So right now, I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll just have to wait and see. Final lap at today's Hungarian Grand Prix then, and it looks like P5 will be our finishing position. At the end of the day, we just haven't had the pace to catch up to Sebastian Vettel. We did a good job straight after the pit stop phase to really sort of keep up with him and gain a little bit of time there, getting the gap down to 4 seconds. But at the end of the day, like I said, we just did not have the pace. We had enough pace, though, to stay ahead of Nico Hülkenberg. 7 seconds currently is the gap back to the Force India driver. But here we are, final lap of the race. We just need to keep it clean, get the car home, and P5 will still be a really decent result. Lewis Hamilton wins today's Hungarian Grand Prix then as we go round the final corner. Once again, the Mercedes driver showing his dominance. But around the final corner, it's not an amazing result, but we're not disappointed at the same time. It's P5 at the end of the day. It's good points on board. Yes, we've lost out to both of my Mercedes rivals. However, we are still there. We're still within touching distance of catching up to both of those guys, especially at a circuit. I can't stress this enough. This is at my worst circuit on the F1 calendar, and I finished P5. So that is a really decent result, only losing out 15 points there to Lewis Hamilton. And I know that I can gain those 15 points back across the rest of the season. It's just a matter of whereabouts those races will be. Belgium's up next. That's a good circuit for me. And Italy, we always seem to do well there too. And hopefully maybe even a crash at Singapore for the 2 Mercedes drivers could put them way down the field. So there is certainly loads of opportunities for me to come back on these drivers. But Lewis Hamilton is the race winner here today with Daniel Ricciardo in that Red Bull in 2nd. Nico Rosberg is in 3rd with Sebastian Vettel 4th. Myself in 5th. Hülkenberg 6th. Massa in 7th. Fernando Alonso at the end of the day after qualifying in P3, not having any race pace and finishing way down the field in 18th. With Valtteri Bottas in 9th. Sergio Perez in 10th, getting the final championship point with Button and John O'Verne just missing out on the points here today. Any surprises in today's results? Not really. Marcus Ericsson, the only DNF here today. No real surprises either. You may be saying as well that, you know, I should have gone with Red Bull at the midway stage of the season. This, of course, is a circuit which suits Red Bull's car. Their car is set up for aerodynamics, whereas our car is more set up for straight line speed. Not quite as much as a Mercedes or anything like that, but we're quicker in a straight line than a Red Bull. Red Bull just gets us in the corners. So, unfortunately, we have lost out to them here today, but I still reckon that Ferrari was the right choice at the end of the day. Driver standings then, after 11 rounds of this season. So the gap now is 44 points, unfortunately, to Lewis Hamilton, and Nico Rosberg is now 10 points behind his Mercedes teammate too. But like I said, there are going to be plenty of opportunities for me to catch up to both those drivers across the rest of the season. 44 points at the halfway stage is not bad at all. it is not bad at all, especially if you think about the start of the season, which we had. So if we actually had some good races there, we could be within championship contention right now. But looking at the constructors standings, 406 points for the Mercedes team. Like I said before, I'm not really too concerned about the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes are just going to run away with that one, with Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton always getting such good results. The key, though, is to stay ahead of Red Bull, and unfortunately, we've not done a good enough job of that here today, as Red Bull have gained on us in the points section. 38 points now is the gap between Ferrari and Red Bull, so we need to make sure that we extend that lead over them in the next couple of races. But that is it for today's Hungarian Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed the race, don't forget to smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so for daily Formula 1 content, and of course for F1 2017 content when the game is out. And don't forget to share this video with your friends. And I'll see you next time at the Belgian Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me.